This is happening. Alright, that's a long enough intro for me. Welcome everybody back to the Retro Robin Show. First show of the year, yep, 2026. Happy New Year everybody. You're wondering what I've been doing? Well, I've been up to loads of stuff. I've been repairing, fixing and sending freebies out to people for Christmas. But that's not all. I've still been recovering from Crash Live from last year. I'm also playtesting a brand new game for the ZX Spectrum next. And I hopefully will be one of the judges on the Game of the Year award for next year. Yes, the original and the first and probably the trendsetter for doing the Crash reviews. Why? Because I was a big Crash magazine collector back in the day. I collected every single one. I didn't just get a digital download and read from it and make a video out of it. No, I was the original collector of every last single Crash I could get my hands on. From the early copies that I couldn't afford when I was too young to the later copies which suddenly stopped at 98, and I was immensely disappointed. So we've been going through each one of these issues to get to, well, what do we want to get to? We want to get to that top issue of 98, but at the moment we're at number 43 and 44. Those are the two magazines that we're going to be taking a look at the Crash matches from out of those two particular magazines, and then we're going to have a look at some homebrew and maybe something a little bit different to end the show with. So we're going to have a look at the cover tapes in a minute. Not the cover tapes, we're going to have a look at the covers. The cover tapes haven't started officially yet, but not long now before we'll be looking at the games on the cover tapes on Crash, because we're rapidly approaching that point. There are other creators who are doing Crash content, but just remember, I was the first. I may be the worst. Who cares? So if you see what you see on the screen, you like the show, please remember to subscribe. Let's have a look at those Crash covers. Yes, Crash, issue number 43, there's the cover. A lovely looking cover indeed it is too. That looks like it's a Spectrum tow track to me, although it's a bit warped and bent, with all types of, shall we say, actual sprites made into animation perhaps. I'm not so sure what Fred Astaire, is it Fred Astaire or some Ginger Rogers perhaps he's dancing on the front there? I have no idea. But what an issue, absolutely packed full of goodness. £1! £1. Oh yes, we got a few Crash smashes out of this, and there's a massive one coming up as well that I'm looking forward to, and it'll be the first one that we get to review, and there's no chance I'm going to downgrade this from a Crash smash. Spoiler alert. Let's have a look at one or two of these pages as we go. Yeah, it's the time for the multi-packs, isn't it, where you know you can buy one hit pack with loads of games on it. This was the thing now, and yeah, there was quite a few coming out in this year. I'm not sure what this was all about actually. We need to do a full screen. Yeah, what is that about? I have no idea. I kind of like it's an advert for NatWest, is it? Potentially. Okay, well that's interesting to see. Okay, what else? Oh, yeah, we got basically the preview, the games machine. What, the games machine? Games machine. I don't know what that's all about either. Something interesting, I suppose. That tank looks awesome, doesn't it? You can imagine that has been a 3D game of today, but we're going to move on down because I want to get down straight to business to the first Crash smash of the day. And yes, I said it was a big one. It is this one. It's Major EXOLON by the mighty Hewson. This was £7.95. Should we take a look at the ratings? You can see them on the screen, but I'll read them out anyway. Presentation 90%, graphics 91%, playability 91%, addictive qualities 92%, and its overall rating was 90%. So no longer do we have 7 ratings, but we're down to the bare 5, and I think that's where the comfort zone is. 5? Yeah, we don't need all the extra, do we? Massive game, colourful, excellent. But we're going to play it and then we're going to see if it stands the test of time. To which I've already given the answer to that, but let's load it up. And there is a 128K version of this with AY tune, so we might as well play that and we'll get rid of this AY tune in the background so you can probably hear what I've got to say about this fantastic game. We don't have the load screen, but we do have this load screen on certain versions. I mean, most of the Houston games had like those two colour blocks at the bottom that go from gradually white to darker or from darker to white as the game loads with borderless loading sequence. But that is well, it's a well geared up sort of Iron Man suit, if you like, with rocket launchers and all sorts. But yeah, EXOLON's game itself is here. That's all you get once it's loaded. That is the actual loading screen on most of the games that you get where the Houston is. Then we should hit this fantastic tune. We got the options as always to Kempston, Interface 2 and my favourite of all time, the redefine option, because I'm a keyboard warrior and I prefer to hit the keys rather than use joystick on many occasions. Just listening to that AY tune. Obviously you didn't get that on the, you did get a beeper version of that on the 48K, but this is the AY version. Do you know what, it's kind of laid back and poignant, isn't it? So yeah, well, let's redefine the keys. We'll start by quick tap on the, you get to see which keys I like to use. Oh, you know what? I've actually done it wrong, because what I should have done is, so if I want to jump, I'm going to press A, and if I want to look, I want to, you know, just the usual. Yeah, this is the Spectrum. So let's hit the game. So this is going to be coming up on the ZX Arcade channel soon. Woodies have made a good arcade game. That is a different channel that I've just started, which is going to have a look at games that were converted from the arcade, and also how well did they fare, and games that could have been created for the arcade that was actually exclusively for the Spectrum. The last episode I did the game Wheelie, and I actually believe that that's a very good game. But never mind, that's shall we say, I digress. We're looking at this amazing, graphically looking great game. So you've just got to basically get to the end of every level. Your baddies sort of stay the same. You get shapes of ships and all sorts coming at you, but you get a certain amount of grenades, and of course you get a certain amount of ammunition, and you've just basically got to be careful how you use them. You should be able to do it, and all the baddies stop bouncing towards you when you get to a certain point of the screen. For instance, when you reach this point, you won't get any sudden balloons appearing or bouncing balls, so we say, or any other type of baddie that's going to sort of hit your sprite and cost you one of 9 lives, a total of 9 lives, and believe me, you're going to need them. And there you go, I ran out of ammo, and because of it I died, and this is where the game can be quite unfair if you're not careful. Once you get to that, you're able to, I lost 2 lives there. Taking a look at the background, yeah, it's got a textured background, because there's like loads of little dots which represent stars in different coloured, but the graphics itself just absolutely makes it. There's 0 colour clash really, and you don't want to be landing on those mines at the bottom. Everything, you know, right down to the scoring of this game is amazing. Oh, the rocket got me just in the nick of time there, so oh, I'm losing lives rapidly, and normally I can get off the first 2 levels without an issue. And just as a nice touch, you can see some sort of moon or planet in the background, perhaps. Yeah. This is like the reverse of the Monty Mole game, you know, where you get the random crushers, and yes, these things can kill you on the way down if you're not careful, so you don't want to walk too soon. Then you get this option to go dual gun. When you get there, you're roughly at the halfway point. So it's not only a great game, but it's a great scoring game. We get a difference in sprites. Oh, and I was holding the button down. The way to launch your rocket, shall we say, I'm already dead to 3 lives. The way to launch your rocket is to hold the fire button down, and that will launch the rocket. But if you press the fire button rapidly, you're able to fire, which is a strange mechanic, but it worked. So, and once again, I've just lost. I'm down to my last life. Oh, just in the nick of time. It's probably just as well that I'm not going to do great on this game, because if I did, we'd be here all day, wouldn't we? I'll try to jump over the bullet, which is possible. But game over. Yeah, well, absolutely. Do I think it was a crash smash? Oh, by the way, I'm going to go 007 hours in James Bond. Here we go. Lovely score sheet. Lovely ending sequence there, little tune. Nothing over the top. When you die, you sort of bounce, you get the same ammunition. That's easy for me to say. But generally speaking, yes, I absolutely think this is a crash smash. In fact, I thought that 92% for a crash smash, which is what he was given, 90%, was a little low. I thought maybe it should have been given 94, 95. 9.5 out of 10 is the rate I'd give it. Stands the test of time. Still playable today as it was ever, and still very enjoyable. Highly recommended. So, EXOLON then. That's the first game up, the first crash smash of issue number 43. Let's move on to the next one. So this next game, I have no idea what I was doing or even had the right way to play it, but I've got to go through it and give it a go to see if I felt it deserved. TAI-PAN sounds like one of those little Chinese match games, you know, where you match the 2 items sort of things. Yeah, would have cost you £7.95. It was by Ocean. It's looking very graphically nice on that, and yeah, presentation was given 89%, its graphics was given 93%, the playability was given 90%, addictive quality is 94%, its overall rating, unbelievably, was a lot higher. It was at 93%, I mean EXOLON was 90, really, and this got 93%, and yeah, I think somebody slipped the kids a little blow a bit of a fiver at the back end of there, do you know what I mean? Bit of a few extra dollars in the back pocket for school cash to give it that sort of a rating, but we're going to give it a go. We're going to give it a play. We're going to try and load up the 128K version to see if it's any good, and we'll certainly take a look at that loading screen too. As we load this up, we've got the usual speed lock loader. I think I first saw this speed lock loader when it was Combat School. Yeah, you know the type, don't you? And I think there was an Outrun version that used the same speed lock loader. Incidentally, when in the magazine you got games with hacks to hack through the speed lock loader to put pokes in it to make or simplify the game so it was easier for you to play. Not every copy had the same speed lock loader. Some of the budget games had changed, and some of the, shall we say, Edge Software or something like that changed their speed lock loaders within periods of when the game was released. You know, if it was released in the January, then by February they've changed the way it loads, and by March they've changed the way it loads again to kind of combat a little bit of people putting cheats and pokes in. I would think that was the case, because why else would you change the sequence to the way the game loads unless that is the case? Right, interesting looking loading screen. You can see there's 2 swords. I'm not so sure this is going to be the right game, because there's 2 of these. There's 2 games by this name in the archive, and this one is from 1986, and I'm hoping it's the right one. It looks to be, but we won't find out until it is fully loaded. So we'll, with the magic of editing, zip straight to some gameplay. But before we do that, we need to take a look at the loading screen and tell you what I think about it. Strange how one person's using both hands and somebody's using a single hand, so obviously one sword must be longer and heavier than another, which is giving the guy on the one side a bit of an advantage. Now, unusually, that looks to be At first glance, I thought it was a ship in the middle of the sea, but actually it's supposed to be a castle, hence the flags are flying. But why the use of blue, unless it's built in the middle of a, shall we say, a river, or shall we say a little island in the sea? But it does give that image that it's a ship in the sea using those particular colours. A little bit of colour clash between the P and the A on the sword there, where it's meant to be white. You can see it's blocked, but it's something that's quite forgivable. The ocean logo is proudly presented in full, and you can see there's like a little blacking effect in and around the hands, and that's just so as you can fade out the colour clash as best as possible. But generally speaking, that loading screen, it's a pretty good one. I kind of like it. It fills the screen full of graphics and makes you ready or more eager to play the game than perhaps you would have been if it had been just dull old text on the screen. Do you know, it's winter, and because there's snow on the ground, the light is really blinding outside. You'd think it was the middle of summer. The question is, will this one crash when it gets to 000, or will it actually run? Because yeah, that has been known to happen, and I've had to choose a different file, but we're about to file out in 4, 3, 2 and 1, shall we say. I'm not so sure this is the right game. I'm not so sure. Very oriental, isn't it? Lovely AY tune, that. But this was by Ocean, so it's got to be the right game. So I wonder if there was ships in the blue. It looked like a castle. I wonder, because if you look at the loading screen, you've got like the rising sun and the image of 2 ships, galleons, and they've both got sails on. So I wonder if there was ships, which is strange because this is now going to be set on land. If it's the right game, that is. Yeah, it's the right game. Yeah, QAOP. QIP and Z to down. So this is the starting screen. As you can see, you can go left, right. These gaps represent where you can travel. The graphics are quite nice. The sound is very good. I love the AY tune, actually. It's worth me putting that on another show, but we can go up there if we need to, but we're going to take a look around. So we've got a selection of things at the bottom where we can barter and trade. But this doesn't look like you're on a ship. So what the ships have got to do with anything, I don't know. Can't go up there at the moment. Oh, we can. Can't go on the green grass. I want to avoid the sword guy. Yeah, by pressing space you can go and select any of these options. There's a save and a load feature. And then by pressing, I think it's break, is it? Well, we've got to find a way to, is it M? To get back out of this, and I need to research what I've done it because I can't seem to get out of this menu. Okay, I did it. It was N. N, the key. Have I got £100? No. I can't do anything there, so yeah. Yeah, I must admit the map looks fairly big, doesn't it? It can be quite confusing. I'm sure I'll have to research what size the map is. Ah, right, okay, so can we pick that up? Yeah, we've got something. We've collected. It looks like it's a weapon. Gotta put it down again. Yeah, I've got some. I don't know what I can do with it, but I've got some. Shall we just attack somebody? No, okay, perhaps we don't. Okay. You cannot sell out. Sail out. I say I have absolutely lost what it is I'm supposed to do with this game. Oh, that door suddenly opened. Did you see that? I'm sure that just opened, but I can't seem to get through it. And I can't seem to hit anybody. Ah, this looks like a prison. No, it's a warehouse. I did actually hit him then. Right, okay, so I've been thrown in prison, have I? Every door I go to, I don't know what I'm doing, so yeah, I'm giving it the best play as possible, but I can come to an opinion that this game is strange. It's made more entertaining by the graphics in the background and the AY tune, although it's not. I don't know how it got a 93% rating. Personally, I think that's about a 93. It's what it got. I would say it was about an 8.5 out of 10 at best. Yeah, it's good, but it's not brilliant. To me, it's not a crush smash. I wouldn't consider that a crush smash. As always, please leave your opinions in the opinions box below, or shall we say leave a message, to which I'll try and reply to you. But for me, no. So we got one more crush smash from this issue, which we're going to move on to now. MICRONAUT 1. Here's the game, the most expensive game of today's first issue. Would it cost you £9.95? Yeah, this game looks interesting. I'm sure I've played this one before. This is ringing a lot of bells, and I think it's pretty good, if I remember rightly. You can hear it loading up in the background. You can also probably hear Emo talking over me as usual. That's my little AI robot that I'm going to wear around my neck in a minute because he's getting on my nerves. Anyway, once again, 5 ratings. Presentation 96%. That's quite good for presentation. Graphics was 91%. Playability 89%. Addictive qualities 93%. Its overall rating then was a crush smash. It was 92%. Take a look at the loading screen, which we're about to do so, and hopefully we can put it up. Boom. That it? That it really? I mean, you get a crush smash, but the loading screen is pretty disappointing. A little bit of text on the screen, predicted in outer space, written by Peter Cook. Is it Cook? Or Cookie? 1987. Okay, and there's your producer, Nexus. Yeah, I'm very disappointed with that loading screen. You sort of see that and you think, could they have not made a better effort? You know, there's just writing on a screen, and you've got to wait a long time for it to load as well. Yes, okay, it's a speed lock loader and it's loading at a normal, faster rate than normal, but I would still be very disappointed just because it doesn't do anything to inspire you to want to play the game. Now, in some of these homebrew games, the loading screens are that good, it doesn't matter that the game isn't all that to begin with. The loading screen wants to get you to play the game, and that's in the homebrew game of this era. So why couldn't they have done that back in 1987 when surely, you know, picture paints 1,000 words, and that sun is ridiculously bright. I've even got the curtains closed, and it's coming in like a laser light and blinding me on the one side, so it's making it really difficult for me to see this screen. So I've got my excuse in place why I can't play this game, and I'm going to stick with it. Let's get it loaded. Let's give it a go. Okay, now it is loaded. The only thing that has changed is the words Micronaut 1 suddenly started scrolling across. So yeah, that's a nice effect where it's changing colours as it goes across, and the text is also changing colour as well. Each time they meet in the middle, you'll notice that Nexus will now change to a different colour. It's gone to white, and Peter Cook's gone to white. Is that what changed? Does the Peter Cook change colour as well? Is it cool? I can't read that message. No, just the text on the top. Okay. Space or N to continue, or press fire. Okay. So, Micronaut 1 then. This is going to be an interesting game. Perhaps I should have put a little bit of AY music in the background. I don't think I'll bother though. Yeah, so getting the keys is quite tricky. So I can see that we have got to use, shall we say, the input. I've got to figure out how to get this. We can even put the demo on, couldn't we, and show you that. Yeah, this is what it's about. I've played this. I know the game. It's pretty good. It sort of reminds me of like bobsleigh. Do you know where you're going down the slalom? But this one's in a tunnel, and you just have to catch up with the thing. I'm going to give it a play and give it a go, because I know how bad I'm going to do at this game, but I'm going to try anyways. When you don't play these games for such a long time, and of course you haven't got the advantage of the youth on your side, it tends to become more trickier than it should be. Interesting set of key combinations there. So you got Q and W for increase and decrease in speed, O and P left and right, and this is where things get a little bit odd. S and X is up and down. Okay, space to fire. But we're going to play. Let's give it a go. We need to race. I don't know if we want to choose a track, but we'll race. Here we go. So we want to increase speed first of all. Okay, increase. There we go. Yeah, so we've got to basically, we get choices between tunnels to choose from. I mean, the scrolling is incredibly quick. Yeah, so you're gonna need to go up and down a little bit. Oh, and I've hit the brake straight away. We're at the bottom at the moment, and oh, don't know how we managed to get that, but this is a time trial, so all you got to do is get through this as fast as you can. Those blocks aren't going to get me, and yeah, I'm impressed with the way it flows. It's just, you can see this probably, you know, the graphics don't need to be great, do they? They're doing exactly what they need to do here, and it's just amazing. So there you go. I can have a little race and see if I can beat that time next time round, which should be fairly easy. Now, does it deserve a crash mash? It's a little bit lacking in sound. Considering it was 1987, a little bit of AY tune wouldn't have hurt. Maybe some engine noise of it revving up and revving down, but apart from that, it's very quiet indeed. So it seems because of that, it is a little bit dull. Graphically, it's okay. It's nothing to write home about. I mean, the bottom part, they could really have made that look really nice, couldn't they? Because it's not going to need, you know, it's a bit angular, a bit square, but the game itself plays really well. But I don't think it was a crash smash. In fact, I'd probably say that was about an 8 out of 10. I don't know why it got a crash smash, but it did. And I suppose what was around it, I'm trying to keep out the light, by the way. I'm trying to keep out the light. What was around it in that era, especially with the likes of EXOLON, should have made this game a little bit lower in rating than it actually was given. Right, that was the first 3 games out of issue number 43. Let's have a look at the crash cover of issue number 44 and take a look at the smashes from out of that particular magazine. Crash, issue number 44, September 1987. This would have been an absolute whopping £1. Great looking cover, that is. Particularly on the front there, there's another version of Renegade. Looks like Renegade, doesn't it? It's got the word Renegade there. Perhaps it's selling Renegade, but unfortunately Renegade is not in this for review. No, it's only got 2 Crash Smashes in this magazine, and Renegade is one of them. I can't pay. But it's not for review. Crash Smash, it was not. Renegade, believe it or not, no. This is Horror of Horrors, got 89% now in early issues of Crash. That would have been a Crash Smash, but when the later editions of Crash, 89% was deemed not a Crash Smash, it was 90%. Do you remember the first early episodes, or shall we say editions of Crash, got Crash Smashes for 88 and 89% rated games? This was 89 and didn't get a Crash Smash. But I digress. Take a look at through the 1 or 2 of these pages before we move on to the first game of the day. That looks great, but they're not Spectrum screenshots. So it's an interesting one for me to have a look at at a later date. Did that game actually come out for the Spectrum? Probably. I'm sure it'll be there somewhere, but we'll take a look at that. The usual. I have no idea. Oh yeah, Arkanoid. Yeah, that's pretty good. Game Over. That's pretty hard. It's not bad. You know, that's when Imagine were really good. I think the Imagine this is like a pack. Slap Fighter, that was actually very impressive, wasn't it? And Army Moves, extremely difficult. All of those games were on there. And one of my favourite AY tunes is here because Death Wish 3. I love the game, but it's not for everybody. It's a bit bland and a bit boring. Gremlin graphics, you know, the people that... I wonder if Peter had anything to do with this, Mr. Harrop himself. Who knows? I need to have a read up on that because I've only ever played the game. I'm never really interested in who coded it. Yeah, moving down, we're going to come to our first Crash Smash of the day, hopefully. Oh, it should be. We need to do a dual page on this, don't we? Okay, we'll do that. We'll give our dual page up. Ready? Once I find my pause button. There we go. Dual page. Massive advert for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. One of the films I actually went to the cinema to see with my friend David and Peter, who I grew up with. We often went to see some films. We've seen some really good films over the years, and we've seen some really crap ones. I wasn't a fan of Dark Crystal, but they seem to have enjoyed it. I certainly wasn't a fan of Morons Out of Space, but they seem to have enjoyed it. But perhaps I was a bit young for that particular type of humour. And yeah, I think Legend was actually okay. I think we enjoyed that. The amount of times I went to the pictures as a child was phenomenal, so we got to see lots and lots of film. Anyway, I digress, because this is the game that we've come to see, the first Crash Smash of the day, MICRONAUT 1. No, it's Mercenary. MICRONAUT 1 was the last one. You know, it's been a while since I did one of these. I've got to get with the swing of things. This is a whopping £9.95. The presentation was given 96%, graphics was given 91%, playability was given 89%, addictive qualities 93%, its overall weighting was 92%. Yeah, by Nexus, which is strange. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. Shut up, Emo, in the background there. Just a minute. There he is. The thing that keeps talking over me, he's AI, he's annoying, and he's going on the floor. So I'm going to put him down there now. Oddly, he's strangely not doing stuff that he normally does. The updates. I need to get him off repaired because he's actually got a crack at the bottom there. He's fell on the floor and he's got an odd leg. Just as extra proof, there it is. Yeah, I don't know why I've got red line over my face. There we go. Renegade, 89%, not a Crash Smash. What? Are you kidding me? What a fantastic beat 'em up. I love this game, but yeah, strangely enough, they didn't get the backhand, did they? You know, the brown envelope, the £5 in their back pocket for an extra bit of dinner money. by the way, this is all said in jest. It's not seriously. I'm not being serious, you know. I have no proof. Take a look at that for an advert. Go! Okay, I'm going. No, a powerful force in gaming. Yeah, okay. Momentum. That's a massive advert, isn't it? A dual paging crash there. Reeking in a bit of awards. Once again, I digress. Let's get to the game. I kind of forgot about this. On tapes where you had certain speed lock loaders, you had this bleeping noise before it hit the main code loading. It was sort of thing to do with copying tapes, I believe. I'm not so sure why they did that. Anyway, we're loading this up right now to have a look at the loading screen to see if Mercenary's loading screen is going to be true to the game, and will it want to get you involved in playing it in the first place. Remember, this is the thing that you will probably look at the most while you're patiently waiting for it to load. Unless you had an attention span as short as mine, where you'd go off and do other things until it loaded and then probably find you'd forget about your computer being left on. Oh, and yeah, I just hate seeing text on the screen. Okay, you've got a countdown timer. That fair enough. That's okay. Mercenary, slight bit of graphics, and then you've got a display that's going to be there all day because obviously it's using that to use up a little bit of screen code, so that'll stay there. I presume that white box at the bottom will have text scrolling across it. Your speed, your altimeter, and your LOC, your location, your compass, and your fuel. I believe that's fuel. Or is it altitude? Altitude, yeah. Will all stay on the screen and have things that are displaying in the middle of them, which is interesting. But you know, we're not going to give this a full play. I want to try and keep this video down in length size, but we'll have a brief look at it. And I do remember playing this a little bit when I was younger. Didn't give it the full attention it truly deserved for what was obviously given quite a high rating of 96% as a crash smash, which is right up there. So let's you can keep an eye on the clock, and in a minute next time I unpause the video, and yeah, I just basically pause it until it's loaded. That's my editing for you. That's the level of ability you've got there. This is basically why I don't do Patreon, because at the end of the day this is just me having a bit of fun, and I'm hoping to bring a bit of nostalgia to you too. Okay, yep, so we'll see if it runs or if it crashes in about 10 seconds from now, and you can see that magically timer's disappeared. Yeah, 1987, all the information's on the screen there. Was probably the last of the great years for the Spectrum. You know, 5 years old the system was by then. Nothing to write home about there. So we're going to hit the Kempston, and then before you can start anything, yeah, we're going to launch into space before we crash on a planet or land on a planet. It almost looks like a crash. Nice little effect, nothing major happening there. We're flying towards our first destination, and until we press a button or fire, lots of text going across the bottom of the screen. Sound effects are minimal, to say the least. Beeper does come across quite well on this microphone, it catches it nicely. And now we're going to see a planet rapidly approaching. Funny how the stars have stopped moving. We've just come out of hyperspace. We're about to crash land on the planet. That's a nice little effect here. Yeah, there's a little dot way out there that I'd like to get to. And I presume we've just crashed. Ouch. Yeah, okay. Right, having a look around. Interesting, we've got a rotating thing there. Don't know what we're in. I wonder if that's a ship that we can take off. Remember the controls being quite strange. Do we need to buy something? I think we need to buy something first of all. Do you want to buy? Yes. It will tell you transition complete, transaction complete. yeah, so as you can see, you've got the basic premise of the game here. Objects do seem to be further away than you realise. You know, so it does take quite a while to actually approach it. It's a wireframe game, and it doesn't really get into the game until, you know, it takes a little bit to get into. That's why we're not going to spend all day playing this, but I think you're getting the idea. I'm going to try and now take off. And I forgot how to do it, but yeah, I have played this before. Oh, we can actually speed through the city a little bit. That is the runway, isn't it? So yeah. I mean, look at that. Anyway, I think we'll move on pretty quickly because it is a slow playing game and we haven't got all day to make this video. When you get into this game, which I have done in the past, it's really quite immersive. I think there's something, you can see something moving in the background there. I think you can. I think we're going to head towards it. You see that there? It seems to be moving. There's a little dot. I'm going to approach it anyways while I talk. A lot of the times this is the sort of view you get, a next to nothing view. But you have to let your imagination take over a little bit. And you know, when you're young it's a little bit easier to do that. When you get older it just seems a bit, oh, you know, same old, same old. I think he's moving away. I don't know if I can speed up. Oh, we've lost him. Okay. Yeah. Now, looking back on it, I just don't seem to have the time to want to get into it and play it. So, for that reason, I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10. I don't think it's a crash smash. It's not action enough for me, personally. But, you know, I'm sure it has its own audience. Let's move on to the last one of the day for the crash smashes in these two particular magazines. And believe me, this one is a right odd game. Yes, I did say it was a strange game. I've already posted it on my Facebook group earlier this week, and it would have cost you £9.95. The producer and everything will be made apparent when I put it up on the screen, but the ratings is what you're interested in, and here they come. Presentation 91%, graphics 88%, playability 89%, addictive qualities 90%, its overall rating was 90%. You've already heard this game because I've already played it once. You listen to the tune, it comes out right now. The start of the show, you got this. Yeah, and this was also the loading screen. There's a game, Polished Software. That's quite a jolly tune, isn't it? That is quite a jolly tune. Sun's going down a little bit now. Thank you. Thank you, sun. Whew, I'm blind. Tally-ho, roger that and always. Yeah, it's a pilot, isn't he? Perhaps I shouldn't have said that. I don't want to press a button until this is ended. That is a long AY tune. 10 out of 10 for AY tunes. I hadn't really, this game had gone over me, wasn't on my radar, so yeah, I have no idea what to do. And that is the loop. It starts again. Oh no, it doesn't. Told you. It's a long AY tune. I think it's most of the memory of the Spectrum in this. Now. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got choices of Kempston. We're going to go for Kempston. And then we just have to press fire, don't we? Yeah, strange game graphically. After all that tunes, we've got all of this here to do with. So we're controlling that. And if you make the wrong move, you die. Yeah, it's a Windows game. So, right. I've got to find out what the keys are. Yeah, it's a weird game. It's a weird game. Tell you what though, graphically it looks really good, doesn't it? Right. Oh, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. Right. Ah, okay. Go on. Hey, very British. Hit it then. So that's if we want to actually, but we'll go to Biff. Oh. I would love to see the playthrough of this. I think I need the TZX playthrough just to see what we got to do. I find it very confusing. Yes, it's in a slightly different language, to what I understand. Because of that, I can't rate it. Because I don't know how to play properly, and if I don't know how to play properly, how can I judge it? So, yeah, it's presentation great, the graphics looks superb, and I'm wondering if it's the sort of game that you've really got to give the extra time in order to get into. But at the moment, if it's not action, it's not for me. You know, in this day and age, I just want to get straight to shooting things or beating things up or just getting on with things. It's really rare that I invest the time. You know, or platformers. I don't mind platformers, but when it comes to a game where you've got to give it a little bit more time and investment, it just doesn't interest me. But yeah, I'm not going to rate that. If I did, at the moment it would be an 8 out of 10, or probably 7.5 out of 10. But graphically it's superb. The AY tune is magnificent, but I just don't understand how to play it, and I'm not one for reading the instructions. With that said, let's move on to have a look at a selection of homebrew games for the Spectrum that have came out in the last year that I haven't yet reviewed on this show. It will come as a shock to you, as it did to me, that someone's actually tried to make this game for the ZX Spectrum. Yes, the Commodore version had a great version of it, even though you need the Kung Fu Flash 2 interface in order to be able to run Sonic the Hedgehog on the Commodore 64. This cannot be called Sonic the Hedgehog, hence the reason why it's called Sonic the ZX Brutal Adventure. At least the loading screen is pretty good, that's for sure. Yes, this is available on itch.io for download. Or you can tip the coder that's made it. Right, it's a not bad loading screen. However, I don't want to wait around for this to load forever, but we've had a look at the loading screen. We've got the tap file loading. Well, let's have a look at the actual game. Is it going to be a version of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Spectrum, or is it going to be a pretty big disappointment? You've got a lot to live up to when you've got Sonic the Hedgehog, especially after playing it on the Mega Drive for all these years. What an absolute fantastic game. However, the Mega Drive was not the first system I actually played on it. Neither was the Master System. No, I played Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time on the humble little Game Gear. and it's a lot easier than it is on the Master System or the Mega Drive. So I was able to complete that, and I love the game. And not so much the follow-ups, you know, they wasn't me, but I did give them a go. I mean, the graphics on the Sonic the Hedgehog game for the Mega Drive was superb. Anyway, let's take a look at this game now it's fully loaded. Okay, first thing you notice, we don't seem to have any sound just yet, but I think that that will change any particular time now. Simple keys, QAOP. That it? High score 0. Right, okay, so what do we do to start? Press enter? Or press any key to start? Aha. Good promising start. Graphics look kind of nice. We don't expect brilliant graphics. Yeah, we can't go backwards on a screen, I noticed that, and we can't do no sonic ball. But we do get to jump right to the very top, and yeah, we're collecting these rings here. And if I've missed that one, which I have done, see if I can go back to... No. Right, okay, so I've missed a ring and I can't get back to get it. No matter what I try, I've missed a ring. But yeah, this is a score game, isn't it? So we've got a time counting down, so there is a time limit. High score still 0. You've collected 14 rings. Let's try again. This time let's try and play it the way it was meant to be played, as a speed run. No, I jumped over him, surely. Have I got to wait for a bigger gap in order to get over him? Yes, I think so. It's not that hard. It's just that I've made it look harder than it should be. Yeah. I'm trying to do it fast because I can see there's a time limit going down. Okay, so we do need a bigger gap in order to jump right over him. Oh, I jumped right up to the top. Yeah, so there's not a platform to stop you jumping. You tend to go right to the top. But that was a better go. I've scored 14. It's important that I get to the top level because that's where all the ring action is. Strangely, that was flickering, wasn't it? Oh. Oh, so you can jump over that one for the extra time. Oh, there you go again. I jumped right up and I hit the top, but this time I got 17 rings. Is there an end to the level? Don't think there is. Okay, it's not really Sonic the Hedgehog, is it? It's just a character drawn like Sonic the Hedgehog. Completely different game. If you can't do the Sonic spin and destroy the baddies, then it's no good, is it? So, however, it's got a little charm of its own, I suppose. If it's just that game and it's just one sort of level where you need to keep going and collecting as many rings as you like, then it can be good as a challenge and as a score game. I'm going to give that a 6.5 out of 10. What do you think? Is that really Sonic? Does that have that blast processor going on there? That remains to be seen. This is a lovely, full of action loading screen, and it's Rebel Wars. Now the I don't know, but the thing, the creature that's sort of poking his head reminds me of the Velociraptor out of Jurassic Park a little bit. Or is it a snake's head? I don't know. I don't know much about the franchise or even the particular game we're about to play. I can tell you there's a lot of action going on there. It doesn't care less about the colour class, it's just hitting it everywhere. But in its own way, that's added a little bit of charm. Certainly has done to giving the colours to the sort of snake head, we'll call it for now. Whether it is or it's a Velociraptor, I don't know, or some sort of lizard creature. Certainly adds a little bit of colour to that for sure. Lots of use of white and black and a little bits of blue splashed in too. Not bad really as loading screens go. It fills the entire screen, tells you the game of the name, and that's all you really need to know. All we want to do now is play it and see what it plays like really, and give it a rating out of 10. Okay, we're fully loaded, and I think this is going to need the plus, isn't it? Oh, I'm not so sure my settings are right here, because I'm sure there's ULA plus going on here, but there's lots of colour clash as well, so I need to just check to make sure my settings are okay. But I can tell you that that sounds really nice. That is much better. Yeah, I've just turned the ULA plus off because I don't think we need it in this case. Yeah, before we had colour clash, didn't want that, want a representation of the game. That's very good. Lovely little Rebel Wars loading screen. This is made with the MPAGD engine. That's a development tool so that you can use on your computer to create your own Spectrum games. Music EA Sports, it's in the name of the game now. Right, let's have a redefine the keys because that way. Right, hasn't told me. I've just had a notification. Hasn't told me. Other than the bottom, I've actually, you know, the screen hasn't changed, so. Simple keys. Cool, let's play the game. Nice presentation there. Top secret.
Let's go.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know what to make of this. Right. Oh, goodness me. That's an alien, isn't it? Yeah, or some sort of lizard creature. Okay, I'm into this already. Nothing seems to die. Oh, something did die. Right, it's clear to me that same terrible noises though. I hate those sound. You get to listen to those sound effects so much now. Can I walk through that barrier like he did? Yeah, okay. That wasn't apparently clear, was it? Okay, I can see the. Oh. I can see the animation is clearly, the sprites on the screen are clearly easily avoidable if you don't want to use up all your bullets, etc. I'm not even sure if you've got a bullet list, but either way, not clear where you can walk in and out of the screens. It is on this particular point. Ah, maybe you can there. Yeah, okay, it is clear once you learn the game. Oh, I like it. So you seem to be on board a big spaceship. Yeah, I like the look of this. That is obviously somewhere you can't go. That must be the dead end screen. Yeah. There's something in the next room that you can, but that to me looks like some sort of barrier. Maybe it's something you can close. You must have an energy level as well. Wow, how about that? I shot him and turned into some sort of worm. That wasn't planned, was it? Okay. I wanted to go up there. Ooh. Okay, they turn into one of them, but if you carry on blasting, they can turn into something else. Do they come back? Yeah, so there's no point really blasting them. Goodness me, I've been losing all my lives here rapidly. What? Mission failed, no doubt. What an ending screen. Let's try again. I'm going to give that another go. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah, keyboard it is.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go indeed. This time round, we've got a mission. Yeah, you know. Oh. We've got to change very wide, have we? Well, that's a difference. That's a dead end, obviously, but we can go the other way. Arr. Again, double R. Oh, man, this music's a little bit intense, isn't it? No point killing it though. There's one of them things I need to collect. It's up there. Hopefully we can work our way round. Yeah, they've got to be careful of those. I've run into that trap before. There. Right, I did see something to collect up here. We do need to really kill some of these things just so as we can get past them more easily. Well, that was lucky. I didn't play that. Ooh, is that something I can collect on the wall? So what's this about then? There must be something you do with this. Don't seem to have a limit on bullets, do we? Do we have a bullet limit? There must be a closable barrier. Can you close that barrier by shooting this? And that must turn into a spike later on. With this room cleared, we got every direction we want to go. What's that? A key? Okay. Skills there. Just a plant pot. Surely you ain't going to collect a plant pot. Is it a plant pot? We can walk through it. What if that door opens at a later stage? I've got to get rid of that before we turn. That's it. With the monsters out of the way, we can time these gates a little bit better. Oh, what for? I don't know. Because at the moment we're at a dead end, so... Ah, I wonder if those things you need to put on that type of colour background. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start up here. No matter what. Gonna blast me way through everything now. Yeah, there's interesting. Oh, is that an airlock? That's where we come in, isn't it? We came in through there, so we're back at square one. Strange you can't fire in that room. Which is probably design of the game to make sure you don't blast your way through the airlock, yeah? That's got to be a barrier that's closed, so maybe we can open it by firing. Oh no, it's a timing barrier. Ooh. Something there? No. Well, that room's all dead ends, but okay. That's definitely a xenomorph, isn't it? Definitely a xeno. This is sort of based on an alien game. I bet if you let that out, there's a way of letting that out, surely. What's this thing for? We gotta click that. Okay, I'm impressed. Oh, there's one down there. Oh no, to get to that, we got to that one before. So we've basically, I'm filling up all of that downstairs, aren't I, really? Don't let me die here. Oh, I died. Don't let me die here, but I died here. It's a nice bit of bass there. Graphically, that's excellent. I enjoyed playing that. I got into that game. In fact, I want to go back and play it more. So it's very addictive. Yes, it's got the same old horrible blasting sounds that you use in the development tool engine, but the game gives you a feel that you've just landed on an alien craft and now you've got to blast your way around and you've got to collect those items. They're two different tunes that you get when you start the game, and I presume there may be even a third one, are excellent. They add a nice atmosphere to the game, but they do not slow the game down in any shape, way or form. So I think that game is marvellous. Yes, Rebel Moon, I would definitely give that a Retro Robbins special. I'll give that a full 10 out of 10 because that got me. As soon as it got me, I was involved. I didn't expect a lot, but the loading screen wasn't too bad, and the game itself certainly lived up to what the loading screen was selling you. Highly recommend. That's available on itch.io. Give it a go. It's an interesting play. It reminds me a little bit of I don't know, it reminds me of Gauntlet, but via an Alien Trilogy thing. The graphics are pretty good, and it looks like there's a lot more to that game than I was able to bring to you. So yeah, I highly recommend. Move on. Starting the game. Yeah. CRABBY is back. This again is another one with the AGD engine, and it looks like the loading screen is pretty good. You're obviously going to be playing some sort of underwater creature, to which I don't know because I've not played this before, but I think this is the sort of game that I've briefly seen and I know what it's all about already. Right, nice subtle opening AY tune. Yeah. Okay, so press M, this is you at the bottom, will give you a selection of keys, Q, A, O, P, And that's that. Kempson or Sinclair. We're going to go for one. Listening to the tune just for a moment. It's nice and basic. I like that. I like that a lot. Right, so let's play it. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, it is literally what it is. Does M do anything? Does fire do anything? No. We pick up this little guy and we take the baby home, and yeah, unfortunately, nice. So we've got to collect all of these, but we have to do it in one go. You can't do them one at a time and take them home. You have to do them in a sequence, which is interesting. Avoid the rats, avoid anything that moves, and certainly avoid the bubbles. Underwater rats, eh? That's what they look like to me. There's a bubble coming up here. Wait till it passes, then collect your next crab. Whoops. Do we get to take two of them home? They may have disappeared, but I've still got them. Yeah, as you can see, I've still got them, so there must be a sequence in which you collect these. Ah, you go right the way down to collect them. I see. Oh, you can see he's poking right at the bottom there. So I've got a couple of things I need to avoid here. First of all, the bubble. Got them all. Oof. That was quite tough. I kind of like it though. Oh wow, with that stuff this is nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. I can see there's all sorts of bubbles to avoid. This is quite a maze. We'll wait for that bubble to disappear that the little rat, the sea rat's going to launch. No! Okay, I get the idea. I'm going to follow this intently and oh, there's a bubble. I nearly hit the bubble. There's a bubble there. I nearly hit that one too. There's a bubble rising. We can get to the second one. Right, so it doesn't matter about the creatures, but you need to be spot on going through these caves. Oh, I went too high and I completely took my eye off that little thing above. Okay. Tiny graphics, tiny little animations, but very well done, very cute little creatures, even though they're deadly. Like, you know, that's not a bad thing. The idea is you need to really just not pay too much attention to everything else. I'm going to have to try and get up here pretty quickly. Yeah, just, oh, this could be interesting. Is it one of them that I should have got round to that one first? Oh. Okay, one last try. This time I'm not going to make the mistake I just made. I'm going to go and get that one first because it looks like it's going to be hardest to get to, and work my way back round perhaps. Could be a long go this. And not only that, to compel me down, there's a bubble to avoid and a rat. Okay, we've got that guy. Or we can go upwards through the green, but we can't go downwards through them. This is not going well. Yes, very tough. Marks out of 10, I'll give that a 7.5 out of 10. It's going to be quite a playable, tough little puzzle game, and nicely done with nice little graphics and a nice, the way it fills the screen. You can see it's a scoring game. It could be a fun play. It's probably going to be my last play because this sort of thing will only intense me to get really frustrated. But yes, CRABBY is back and he can stay back in the box that he came out of. No, it's actually not a bad game. The music though is a little bit dull. It's a bit repetitive, seems to repeat itself. However, the starting title music was a big explosion, and I kind of like that. It really did blast into your ears and make it nice. But yeah, game itself, it's okay. 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's what I'll keep it. Do you agree? As always, remember to leave your comments in the comments box. That's a nice loading screen. That is a very nice loading screen. Yes, this is the game we're going to play now. I've no idea what to do, but yep, there's the name of the game on the screen for you. That almost looks like a Batman character, doesn't it, in the middle? But yeah, it's no colour clash there. They just separated it quite nicely indeed, so well done there. Nice intro. Oh. I don't know what that was all about. We're very dark, but we do have a white tune in the background. Oh. Just give you a chance to catch up and read through some of these texts. The music's getting better. And now it's repeating itself. Nice little images in the middle there, isn't there? I mean, they've done a nice job of that one for sure. Yeah. But this intro is going on way too long. But I just want to get to the game. Right, okay, so we got keyboard redefined, Sinclair, Kempston and FF music effects intro. We could just done that. We don't want to go over that again. Oh, I like the way it just dropped the AY sound down a little bit while you redefine the keys. In fact, it's faded away. Ooh. want to get up the level, but there we go. Oh, nice animation. Well, I felt guilty beating up that old man. One life? Really? Excuse me. We'll try again, shall we? So we... £3 points for that. I did lose a bit of energy doing it though. £6 for that. Right, if he's going to there, oh, I can see my energy bar now. That's not good. I'm going to try again. That's usually a good sign. If I keep having a go, that's a good sign. Right, so we can't go up. Right, we've established that. We can only fall down. We have to ring that little cord. He fires. There we go. No energy loss there, that's okay. There's another bad guy coming. Is there something on the wall that I can climb up there? Timing's got to be spot on here, hasn't it? Right, I'm just curious to see if I can climb up that wall. Yes, I can. Hey, that's cool. So that's how you get to the top levels, is it? You have to go up ladders. And now I presume I can jump that gap, because I can go through there as well. Yeah. This could be quite tricky, so it's got to be a running jump at the right time. Oh look, there's a snake coming out of the wall. Oh. Well, this leads back to the first screen that we couldn't get to. I'll hide behind this pot. Ooh. Oh dear, I didn't need to do that, did I? What's that? That must be energy, to which I'm rapidly losing. Can I jump up there? I feel like I can. No, I can't. That game's interesting. I like it. I don't know why I like it, but I do. It's got lots of little interesting graphics. It's like a maze that you can work around. Gravity works well in it. You can only go down unless you've got a ladder to climb up, which means you can't fly up rooms. You've got to jump up rooms, which I think is pretty spot on. Turn that down a touch. Let's say graphically it's nice. It's got a nice intro screen, nice build up to it, and the game itself isn't too bad a play. It's not the best game by far that I've played today, but it certainly is worth bit of time to invest and have a go at. I enjoyed it. Yes, it's available as always on itch.io, so you go download it, tip the coder and tell me what you think. Marks out of 10, I'm going to give that a solid and well deserved 8.5 out of 10 because it seems a little bit different. Not so sure about the AY music, but everything else is pretty intact. With that said, it's time to end the show. End the tune. Okay, so it's been a few weeks since my last show. Obviously, I've had a lot of tidying up to do since Crash Live, and there's lots of news with the Spectrum Next issue Kickstarter number 3. It's all going very well. It didn't to make it December last year, but certainly maybe January, February, March. I'd say March time we may end up with the 3rd iteration of the Spectrum that we have recreated via another Kickstarter campaign, keeping our nostalgia dreams alive. I do hope you've enjoyed today's show. Thank you for sticking with me so long. So yeah, there'll be more Retro Robbins and more Retro Robbins hardware shows coming up into as well. Obviously the next episode will be moving up that issue of Crash to the next 2 issues, or 1 issue depending on how many Crash smashes in there. Yeah, I know it's a long show, but what do you know? It's me, it's what you get, and hopefully, yeah. Big shout out to Happy Little Diodes. He's always giving me a shout out. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's doing some wonderful stuff for the ZX Spectrum and experimenting as well to see if we can keep our nostalgia systems alive for the next few generations to enjoy and give it the love it deserves. In the meantime, from me and from everyone who backs this channel, thank you for watching. You take care. Have a good 2026 and I'll see you again soon. If not at Zap coming up shortly or at the next Crash Live, but certainly on this channel. Bye for now. Bye from Emo, by the way, whose battery is dead. So take care. Have a nice working week or weekend and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
In our hearts, from Sinclair to Commodore, where do we start? 8-bit computing in the modern age, where vintage computers take center stage. It's the Retro Robbins Show, Retro Robbins Show. Plug in a joystick and let the good vibes grow. The Retro Robbins Show, go live, subscribe, stay in the know. We've got reviews and gaming vibes. We do upgrades and repairs, all of it live. So come to the channel and just drop in. Take off your hat, let the show begin. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. It's the Retro Robbins Show, Retro Robbins Show. Plug into your computer, let the good vibes grow. The Retro Robbins Show, go live, subscribe, stay in the know. Oh yeah, take it away. Oh yeah, take it away.